Food poster or flyer should do something correctly. Make the mouth watery, most especially if it's the viewer's favorite food. When there's nothing to grab attention or we have too many images on the poster, the work that the poster is supposed to do won't be achieved. If the only thing we have on the poster is the name of the brand, it won't command attention. You can only do this on signage projects, and this is because it will be somewhere on the restaurant building. My name is Ekiade Adetunji. Welcome to my How to Use Backgrounds series. I eat and drink graphic design. I'll be sharing with you how I make successful design. At this point, I'm going to roll my logo intro. I have a platform for designers on Telegram. It's called The Creatives. We always have our design review every Friday where I critique design projects. During our last week review, this design was one of the artwork that was posted for me to critique. I shared why this artwork was not successful. One of it is the project is not strong enough to grab attention. Now to the tutorial. I'm going to use two applications to achieve this project. I'll be using Photoshop and Adobe Illustrator. I'll design the title with Illustrator. Then I'll add background and blend the title to the background using the blend div in Photoshop. This is the image that we will be using to achieve the project. I got this image from rawpixel.com. Whenever you receive an image from clients or download online, take time to look at where you can embed your text on the background of the image. If you can't find any space, crop the subject out from its original background and place it on a background you can place your text. On this image, I'll place my title where I have the missing pizza. So let's start with this tutorial. Click on File and I'm going to select New. I'm going to tag it Food Poster. Then my width is going to be 800 and my height is going to be 800. My resolution is going to be 100. Alright, now you can also use 72. And my color mode is going to be on RGB because I'm not printing this. Background is going to be white, and I'm going to click on the Create button. Then I'm going to drag my image and drop here. So I'm going to scale this real big and I'm going to position it here. Scale it a little bit more. This should be somewhere around here, just like so. Alright. So I'm going to hit the Enter key and I'm going to make a copy of this. Right click and hit the rasterize option here, and I'll draw a rectangle marquee here, and I'll hold on shift and select F5 so as to fill this bottom of my frame with the background here. So I am going to hit the OK button now, and we need to wait for Photoshop to do its thing. All right, now I'm going to hit Ctrl D or Command D for Mac users to deselect the marquee, and I'm going to save this as a JPEG file. All right, and I'm going to call this BG. All right, and I'm going to select the OK button. All right, now the reason why we're doing this is because, you know, this space here, like what I said, is we are going to be using this. We're going to be placing our title on this space here. So let's go to Illustrator. So I'm going to click here. I'm going to click on File and I'm going to select New. Come to the width here. Now I'm going to make this 800 and I'm going to make the height 800. All right, now I'm just going to hit the Create button and I'm going to drag the project that we saved from Photoshop. I'm going to drag and drop it here, and I'm going to position this here. Hold on Shift and drag this down like so. All right. So we need to zoom. I need to zoom out so I can see what I'm doing clearly. And I'm gonna lock the layer. All right. Then I'll create a new layer, and this is the layer where we are going to place our text. So I'm gonna select the text tool now, and I'll type A. All right. I need to make this bigger. Hold on Shift and drag. So I'm gonna change the font character to all right, so this is it right here, informal 011 BT. All right, then I'm going to position this here. Okay, and I'll make a copy of this and just type M. Okay, and I'm going to make a copy again and type A. All right, so this is the name of the brand, and I'm going to position this here like so, and I'm going to go to objects, type. I'm going to select type and select create outline. All right, now so I converted this text to an editable object. All right, then I'm going to select the direct selection to here and just use it to tweak the the letter. So I'm going to position this here. I'm going to drag this here like so, and I'll push this down to right about here and move this down. Shift select this. So I'm holding down shifts to select the 2 points, and this should be here like so. All right, and for the letter M, I'm going to do the same thing again. Type and select create outline, and I'm going to move this and this up right about here. All right, now the real idea is to make this form the triangle Caesar shape. Okay, so that's what I'm trying to achieve here. So this needs to go down here like so, and I'm gonna make this look this way. Okay, I think we are making sense, but I need to take this point off. There's a point here that I need to delete, so I'm going to select this and select the pen tool and just take this off like so. I need to convert this to an outline, so I'm going to create outline on the letter again, and let's see if I position this here. Okay, let's see if I position this here, and let's scale it a little bit. All right, this is good. Then I'm going to just cut out this side. So I'm going to select the pen tool and just draw a shape like so. Then I'll use the shape builder tool to just take this out. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to connect this side of the M to the A so as to make it look like the continuation of the A is what's connect to the M here. All right, so I'm gonna just move this up a bit like so. Okay, so we have this. All right, then for this side I'm just gonna take this up like so, and for this I'm gonna do the same thing. Move this up like so. Let's switch it out like so, and this needs to go in. I'm gonna delete this point. You know what, let's just move this down because this side is looking like it's too tall. Okay, so I'm gonna move this down a bit. I hate the fact that I have these sharp corners on my letters, so I am going to adjust that now. So I'm going to select the anchor point tool, so I'm going to just drag this like so. All right, I'm gonna move this here like so and do the same thing here. And I'll use my direct selection tool to just move this out like so. All right, I'm going to select the objects again and just move this in like so, and I'm going to type kitchen. All right, so I'll select the text tool and just paste the kitchen here, and I'm going to just scale this big like so. All right, then we need to now play with this. I'm going to click and hold down on the text tool to see the sub tools under it, and I'm going to select the touch type tool. I'll select the I and move this down, select the T and drag it in. We need to still adjust the I a little bit more, and I'm going to just push this out like so, and I'm going to select the letter T and move this into right about here. All right. For the K, I'm just gonna push that down a bit, and for letter C, I'm gonna scale that down, and I'll do the same thing I did with the I, and just move this in like so. And for the letter E, I think I'm not doing too much here. I'm just gonna move this right about here. Select the move to selection tool, excuse me, and I'm gonna select the type menu, and I'm gonna hit the create outline option again to convert this to an editable object. All right, so now I'm going to select the direct selection tool again and just use it to tweak the look of things here. So I'm going to just move this, select this like so, and just move this out like so, and do the same thing here. Just move this out like so. And for the N, I'm just going to move, you know what, we need to delete some points here so as to not to kill the look of the N. So I'm just gonna delete some points here. All right, and I'm gonna go back to my direct selection tool and just move this up like so. And for the letter E, I'm gonna just drag this out like so. Okay, and yeah, that's it. So then I'm gonna just I'm going to move this here, excuse me, and I'll scale it down. All right, now to create unity here, if you look at the bottom part of my pizza here, you see that it's not straight. So we need to apply the same effect to the kitchen object here. I'm going to select object, select envelope, distort, and then hit the make with mesh option here. So I'm going to make this 1 and 1 and select OK. Then I'll use the direct selection tool to click on this point and just drag this down and do the same thing, and push this side down like so. All right, maybe we should even make it go down a little bit more. So we have the bottom part of our object curve. I'm going to select object and hit the expand option there, because if we don't, we won't be able to take this to Photoshop. Okay, so I'm going to hit this and select the OK button here. Now I'm going to select the two object now, and I'm going to rotate this, okay, and scale this down. All right, and position this here. All right, now when you're scaling your objects, always remember to hold down shift, because if you don't hold down shift, this is what you're going to get. But if I hold down shift now, you see I have a perfect reduction of my object. So now I'm going to just drag this out like so, and I'm going to position this here. So if you look at it now, you see we're beginning to achieve the same look with the pizzas. All right, so it's looking more like the way we have this pizza here. Okay, so I'm going to drag this like so, and just rotate it a little bit more, and just position this here. All right, now it's time for us to add color to this. I'm going to be picking my colors from the pizzas. So if you look right here, we have red. So I'm going to pick red from my color swatches here. So I'm going to select red. All right, and if you look here, you notice we have some touch of green here. So I'm going to just select the kitchen text and hit green here. So I'm going to select everything again and hit Ctrl G or Command G to group the title. Okay, so I'm going to make a copy. I'm always doing that. I don't joke with it. I always like to have backup. All right, so if you look at it now, my kitchen text here is difficult to see. So I'm going to add outline to this. So I'm going to click here to add stroke to it, and I'll change the color of my outline to this. All right, then I'll click here. So I'm going to select align stroke outside. This is looking nice. All right, so the next thing we're doing now is to add apostrophe, punctuation mark, and S. I'm going to first draw a circle, because not drawing a circle is not going to make it visible. All right, so I'm going to position this somewhere around here, and I'll take off the stroke and add white to the fill. All right, then I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. Okay, and I'm going to click and hold down here and select the type tool, and I'm going to hit S. All right, now I would have loved to use the same font style with the title here, but the reason why I am not going to do that is because the S of this character is not looking the way I like it. I'm going to change this to Gotham. All right, rounded. Let's see. So I'm going to use rounded bold. Yeah, this is it. So I'm going to scale, put this down. All right. Now, if you look here, I noticed something there. If you look right here, you see that my objects here are overlapping on each other, so I don't like that. So what I'm just going to do is to just place my backup on top of this. Now there are other ways I can do this, but because of time I don't think I'll be able to do that now. So I'm going to hold down Ctrl Shift and then square bracket to make this be above the object with a stroke. So I'm going to position this here like so, and I'll add the apostrophe quotation mark. All right, this is the one I need, so I'm going to delete this. I'm going to select type menu and select create outline, and I'll position this here. I'll scale this down and rotate this, and then I'll click here and hold on shift and click on this, then select the shape builder tool. Then I'm going to hold on alt and then click on the S and click on the apostrophe mark like so, and I have this. We can even move this out a bit, right? And I'll rotate this. The circle with the S is overlapping on this pizza here, and this is not making the unity on this project work. So but don't worry, when we get to Photoshop we are going to place this behind this pizza here. So now I'm going to hold on shift and just select everything here. I think it's time for us to go to Photoshop now. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to hold down Command or Control C on my keyboard to copy the title, and I'm going to go straight to Photoshop and I'm going to paste it. So make sure you are on the smart object option when you are doing this, and I'm going to select the OK button. So then I'm going to scale this down. All right, and this should be here. You can even still rotate it just in case you feel like, and I'm going to just position this somewhere around here. All right, so I'm going to hit the enter key on my keyboard like so. So now if I hide the title from Illustrator, you see we have all this noise grungy effect on the background of the pizza. So this is part of what will make the title we did with Illustrator look like is actually printed on the background. All right, so now I'm going to make this visible, and we need to blend this. So I'm going to double click on the layer to bring out the blend if option. So I'm going to move this to this side now, and I'm going to hold down alt and click to break the slider, and this should go this side. So I'm going to move this to this side and move this here. Right, so now when you're doing this, you need to be very careful not to affect the look of the letters, because the shape of the letter is very important. All right, so I'm going to move this more to this side. Now if I overdo this, you see that it's looking faded, which is not good for this project. So I'm going to move this to about this point here, and I'm going to select the OK button. All right, now you see we have those noise effect on the the title. Now this part here is not okay at all. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a layer mask to this, and I'm going to select the brush tool, and I'll reduce the size of the brush. Now I'm going to go to the brush settings and make sure when you're doing this you are on the soft round brush. I'm going to turn on my transfer option here because I'm using a Graphix tablet, but if you don't have a Graphix tablet, you can turn down the flow to 25 or 15 and you're still going to get the same result. Then I'm going to switch to black because black is the opposite of white. So because this is set to white, we need to make this black, and black will delete whatever is on the layer, then white will make it visible. So because we're trying to take this part out, we need to be on black. Then I'm going to zoom in and reduce the size of the brush, and I'm going to just gently take this out like so. All right, so I'm going to take this out. Now the reason why I decided not to crop this is because cropping it will not give me the results that I want. So I'm going to just gently do this. Okay, and I'm going to reduce the size of the brush and just gently take it out from here like so. So now if I zoom out, now you see this is looking more real. All right, then the next thing we're doing now is to add other details to the project. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to follow this layout of the pizza here. The next information I'm going to add to this project is going to follow the same layout. All right, so I'm going to create a new layer, and I'm going to draw a shape. All right, I'm going to draw an ellipse shape, but I'll make sure that my ellipse shapes go with the shape of the pizza arrangement. Okay, so I'm going to just position this here like so. Now I'm not holding anything on my keyboard, because holding shift is going to give you a perfect ellipse shape, but that's not what I want to achieve. So I'm going to just stop right about here. All right, then I'll copy the text. I'll select the text too. So what I'm trying to do now is I want to type the text on this part. All right, so when you are doing this, make sure that you position your mouse on the part till you see a slash sign. All right, if you don't see the slash sign, don't click on the part. All right, so now I have a slash sign on my screen, and I'm going to click once, and then I have this default text. So what I'm going to now do is to hit Ctrl and V on my keyboard to paste the text. So but the reason why we can't see the text now is because the font size is small and the color is black. So I'm going to change the color to white. All right, and I'll change the size of my letter to let's say 30. I'm going to change the front character to the one that we use on the title. So I'm going to select the direct selection tool. All right, then I'm going to just use that to position this to where I want it. The quality affordable homemade is facing the wrong direction, so I'm going to click and drag this inside the part. Now I'm going to go back to my text tool and reduce the font size. All right, then I'm going to scale this down to about this size. All right, this is good. All right, then I'm going to add more tracking to this. Okay, I think this is good, and I'm going to select the move tool. Now we still see the parts, so we need to take away the parts. So what we need to do is to hide this layer, and then the part goes off. So I'm going to drag this to about this side here. All right, and I'm still going to use the same part again. I'll make it visible, and this time I'm going to bring out the free transform, and I'm going to scale this real big, and this should be somewhere around here like so. So I'm going to position this here, hit the enter key, and I'm going to select the text tool again, and this time I'm just going to copy the order now and make the same move again. Now don't forget, make sure that your text tool is on the part before you paste your text. So I'm going to click now and paste again, and hit Ctrl A on my keyboard to select the text. I'm going to change my character to the character that we used here. So I'm going to change this to bottom rounded. All right, and I'm going to use the bold option here, and I'm going to close the tracking. All right, I don't want the tracking on this, and I can even make this bigger. All right, then I'm going to use the same tool again, which is the direct selection tool, and I'm going to use this to adjust the position. All right, and push this in like so. Select the text tool, select all the text. Oops, you see I'm doing this on the wrong layer, so I'm going to lock this layer. All right, then I'm going to double click on this because we need to edit this, and I'm going to change this to title case. My cap button is checked here, and that's why I have the order now as a cap. To turn that off, you need to click here, and then it will go off. All right, now I'm going to add a little bit tracking to this, not too much, just little, and I'll add more space here because I'm drawing a shape. Let me just move. So I'm using the left and right key on my keyboard to move the cursor. Click on the move tool, and this time I'm going to select the shape again, bring out the free transform, and make this bigger a little bit because we need to add the social media undo. Then I'm going to select the text tool again and copy. We need to lock this layer. Don't always forget to do that. So I'll click here, and I'm going to click and paste. All right, Ctrl A, and I'm going to select the direct selection tool again, and I'll use this to change the position and push this in like so, and we have this. All right, so I'm going to select the move tool and hide this layer, and this is what we have. So I am trying to create more emphasis on the order now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the pen tool. I'm going to lock this layer. All right. And I'll zoom in, pen tool, and change this to shape. All right. Now I'm going to click here now to start. Now I know some of you are wondering why I did not place all the elements. All right. Like why I did not start and finish the project with Illustrator. Now the reason why I decided not to do it there is because of this effect here that we made the title blend with the background. You can achieve this with Illustrator. Okay, so then I'm going to change this to white and I'm going to make this go off. All right, then so we need to cut out the order now from this shape that we drew. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold on and click on the thumbnail of the order now. So I'm going to hold on Alt and click, all right, to cut out the order now from this shape. And we are going to do the same thing with this, because if you look at it now, we can't really see the cutout part. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to hold on again and click on the thumbnail of the shape and select the order now layer, and I'm going to take out the padlock so as to free it from not making me make changes to it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hold down Alt and click on the layer mask icon to cut that order now from the layer, and then we have this. One other thing I think that we need to do again to make this blend or unite well is we need to blend this shape. So I'm going to double click on the layer and I'm going to move this in like I did with the title. All right, and I'm going to hold on Alt and break the slider and just move this to this side and push this to this side, and I'm going to select the OK button, and this is where we're going to stop today's tutorial. This is not the only solution to achieve this project. There are so many different styles or concepts you can come up with. I hope you learned something from this tutorial. If you don't want to miss any of my tutorial, hit the subscribe button today and remember to click the post notification bell. Like, comment, and share this tutorial with your graphic design friends and family. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.